Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to do my review of the film DC League of Super Pets from the perspective of myself as a dungeon master. Like, as a dungeon master, what did I think of this story? Was there narrative strength here? Were there interesting narrative flourishes? What do I think of how they crafted the story? The player characters, the main cast characters. How did the director, choose to use these characters? When the director was putting on the extras, were there any cool non-player character ideas here? First of all, spoilers for DC League of Super Pets. All right, so I saw this film. I just want to say real quick, so like, I'm a 52-year-old man. What the heck am I doing seeing a children's movie? This is a children's movie. This was really crafted for children. I recently got a Regal Movie Pass, and what is happening is it's completely flipped how I see movies. So I used to be like, oh, I'll make a little list of the movies that I'm going to see. I don't do that anymore. I make a list of movies I'm not going to see, which is very short, and I can count on one hand. I'm just seeing everything, literally everything they have at the movies, because I paid, I think it's $21 a month. I can see movies as many times as I want. I can see them 2-3 times if I want. I can literally see every movie, which I'm doing. There's just a few movies. I'm an evangelical Christian. There's a few films that don't really carry my values, and I'm specifically leaving them off the list. But so I'm seeing literally 90% of all films that are coming out now. So this movie is absolutely fantastic. I really loved it. It did a great job of blending in humor at a good ratio. What percentage of your story should be humor? 10% to 20% max, in my opinion. And this does that. It has a really good actual story. Another thing I think to watch for as a dungeon master is interaction of different players. So there are different players that are going to be in your game, and sometimes some players are just going to kind of create a tornado, a cycling, warm air, cold air storm of creativity and innovation. And I think that's what you see with The Rock and with Kevin Hart. They really play off of each other in this film and just are knocking it out of the park. And Kevin Hart's, I really dislike Kevin Hart's comedy. I think it's I don't think he's that talented right now. Thing is, I know for a fact he has huge numbers of fans, right? I just don't, I love comedy, and I've seen a lot of comedic stand-ups, and I never liked him to begin with, but he used his last special to insult he got a divorce and then used his stand-up literally to just tear apart his wife. He's got, his ex-wife. He's got like millions of dollars, and I thought it was incredibly petty, and like to go to Netflix and be like, hey, you want to pay me $20 million to complain about my ex-wife? And it was abominable. I really don't like it. I don't like Kevin Hart's comedy. He was spectacular in this film. He is a talented voice talent, and this movie is grounded by him. He really does Kevin Hart does some of his best work ever. This is a good movie that kids are going to love, and honestly, it was easy for me to like it because it had the entire Justice League in it. And guess what? DC League of Super Pets is a far better movie, Justice League film, than Zack Snyder ever made, without a doubt. And he got 2 chances, right? And this thing is a way better Justice League film than was ever put on live action. I can tell you that right now, right? Like, DC is such a mess. They have the best comic book characters in the world. They do less than nothing. Like, what's being served up from the DCEU is embarrassing for everybody involved. I'm embarrassed. I watch those live action movies. It's embarrassing that they put them out. Like, it's just utter garbage. But on the animation side, they are still crushing it, right? And so this is a fantastic film. I absolutely suggest you pick this up as Dungeon Master. When you go and you watch this as Dungeon Master, one of the things too is one of the most fascinating aspects is Lulu, this guinea pig who gets so basically Lex Luthor gets all the kryptonite and tests it on himself, right, carefully, and what happens is the orange kryptonite does nothing for him, but it makes all these pets he's testing on actually have superpowers. So and Lulu is test subject number 1. She's the most powerful of them, and everything she does in the film is to please Lex Luthor. So she's a minion who has a genuine love of the villain she serves. But then she becomes a primary villain and then does all these things to help Lex Luthor, but he betrays her. And that's an actually very in-depth, strong narrative that you could absolutely craft into a larger story in any Dungeons & Dragons game. This is definitely every Dungeon Master content, including Dungeon Masters 18 to 12, because that is part of our demographic. And I would highly recommend this as every Dungeon Master content. From a Dungeon Master's perspective, out of 5 stars, I would give this movie 4 stars. That is my Dungeon Master review of DC League of Super Pets. Did you see this thing? What did you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Am I wrong about how bad these DC live action films are? Completely unconnected, just going in every direction. Just clear it. Nobody has any clue what they're doing. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that as well. All that's my opinion. I'd love to hear yours. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.